Hey everyone, this is Rodney Mitchell, and I'm hanging out with my man Greg Hill on Soul One After Dark.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Soul One After Dark. My name is Greg Hill, and welcome back. Tonight, I have a brother on here that I have known for 40 years or better, and he's a hell of a guitar player. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Rodney Mitchell. What's up, man?
Thank you, my brother. Well, everything is good. Everything's great to be with you, brother.
It's good to have you on here, man. We had a few little technical difficulties, but we made it through.
That's right. We overcome.
Let me just get right to it. How did you get started?
As early as 2 years old, I have memories of my mother singing. She sang what she called at the time was pop tunes. And there were like songs like Tisket, a Tasket, Tenderly, Misty.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea at that point in time how that was gonna play out later on in my life in terms of it being instrumental, no pun intended. She sang, and she sang a lot of jazz. My dad played guitar, and he's the one who I became captured with the whole how the sound came from the guitar to the amplifier through the speakers. That just fascinated me. And what happened was after that, very early, about 4 years old, I started he allowed me to play the instrument or just to finger the notes and stuff. And I should also say that my grandfather on my mother's side was a band leader back in the 50s. And he hung around with cats like James Moody. He had a big band. And my grandmother played like stride piano. So those two over my mother and father. So it goes back even that far as influences,
Was guitar your main instrument, or do you play any other instruments?
Guitar was my main instrument, and I played tenor saxophone, B-flat tenor saxophone in junior high school. And I kept that for a while after I got out of junior high school, but guitar is the main instrument.
Did you go to music school?
My father, very early on, he had me taking lessons. I remember 149th Street and 3rd Avenue in the Bronx, they had an older Jewish gentleman who had a school, him and his wife. She taught vocals and he taught guitar. So I went in with a lot of beginning of classical guitar very early on. I must have been could have been about 10 years old. But then the biggest change came from an Italian teacher named Mickey Marlett. He was on Fordham Road near Kingsbridge Road. He had a studio upstairs.
Okay.
That cat started me out on regular basic guitar, but then he introduced me to this jazz guitar book, and it's the gold standard for jazz guitars even to this day. If I got it around here somewhere, if you held it up, most jazz guitar players that call themselves jazz guitar players would know that book.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest change. And this Kenny Burrell album, Midnight Blue, that my dad bought in the house. And from that point, Kenny Burrell was my focal point. It was all Kenny Burrell.
Wow.
In the 60s, 1960s.
Wow, 1960s. Wow, you went back, brother. You don't went back. You don't went back a few years ago. I had my rattle in the crib back then. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to tell no ages, but we gonna go to commercial, and we'll be right back with guitarist Rodney Mitchell.
Thank you.
All those in favor of a COVID-19 vaccine, raise your arm. Safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines are here. Get yours when it's available to you. Learn more at nyc.gov/COVID vaccine.
Hi, this is Allison Williams, and you're watching Soul One TV.
Okay, we're back to Soul One After Dark with Rodney Mitchell. Now, Rodney, I want to get the time period straight. Now, who came first? Melba Moore, Gloria Gaynor, or I think T.S. Monk was last.
Right, that's correct. That's
that?
correct. Melba Moore was the first big name act that I had got affiliated with and was playing with. So it was Melba first, then Gloria Gaynor, then T.S. Monk, in that order.
And so playing with Melba Moore, how was that?
It was beautiful. She was a consummate professional. She was very fair. She knew what she wanted in the music. She took care of herself physically. She always worked out in things. That she was a vessel of music, basically. Very, very kind-hearted, and all of her songs were written out. She had a book about yay thick of Broadway tunes, things we had to know. She would call tunes, you know. But she was amazing. And
you was rolling with her for about how long? You toured with her
for about a year. I was on tour with her, and it was mostly in the United States. It was all in the United States.
Okay.
About 40, 50 cities, something like that.
Okay. Gloria Gaynor, how did that situation come about?
Well, at the end of my time with Melba, two drummers knocked on my door and said, "Hey, Gloria Gaynor is having tryouts for her band. You ought to go check it out." So I went down there with my guitar, and they had another book this thick. And here we go again. And got through the book pretty good. They hired me on the spot. The next stop was South Africa. That was the first gig on her tour was South Africa for a month. We were there for a month. Yeah.
Oh man! And then how was that? How did that gig go?
That was interesting because she was another consummate professional, and she had a beautiful voice. She was a beautiful spirit, beautiful soul, great person to work for. Her husband at the time, Linwood Simon, was another beautiful cat. You know, good people, and the band was fire. That song "I Will Survive." When she played that, everywhere we went in the world, the whole house came down. When that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever auditioned for something and didn't get it?
Not that I know of. No.
When we come back, we're gonna talk about the T.S. Monk situation.
Oh, awesome.
Definitely got some questions for you about that T.S. Monk situation.
Absolutely awesome.
We'll be right back. Soul One After Dark.
Bright futures begin with good school attendance. Missing just a few days of school a month can hurt a child's math and reading skills, or even their chance of graduating. Find out more at everystudentpresent.org/parents.
Hi, this is Russell Patterson, and you're watching Soul One After Dark.
Okay, welcome back to Soul One After Dark. My name is Greg Hill, and my guest tonight is none other than Rodney Mitchell, former guitar player for Melba Moore and Gloria Gaynor. Now, we're going to get to the person I've always been wondering about. In fact, you know what? Let's play the video first. And if you see this guy bouncing in the background on guitar, guess who?
People are playing ball off the wall with my head. The man promised me a raise. I said, who's gonna raise me when I'm dead? Oh, I'm so tired of punching that clock every day. Always skating on thin ice. Lord knows we could use a holiday, baby. Yes, the two of us would be so nice. Give me the bone. Give me the bone, bone. Give me the bone.
T.S. Monk. T.S. Monk. Now, every time you see that video, what goes through your mind?
Harmony.
Yeah.
Harmony. Harmony of souls, harmony of purpose, harmony of the music, you know, and harmony of the planet. The plight of humans. What we're trying to do every day is just live and make lives better for our families and loved ones. Harmony.
Listen, you going deep. You're going deep on me here, Rodney. You're getting a little deep on me. Wait a minute. You harmony souls, your planets.
Okay, that's true. All right, I need to be cognizant of that for sure. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't mean to.
You got deep, man. I was gonna say, yo, let me get my thing. Listen, how did that gig happen? How did that, how did you get that gig?
I was a member of that band to begin with, before anybody knew anything about T.S. Monk. And Russell Blake was another person who was instrumental in me getting involved with that band. And we had a great band, great relationship. I was on tour with Gloria Gaynor at the time when I was in Europe.
Yeah.
Things had slowed down with the band T.S. Monk, and I had told Monk I'm going out of town. He said, do what you got to do. And so we kept in contact. And when I came back in, they were in the studio recording that album, House of Music, which is what Bon Bon V is on.
Yeah.
So he had, to his credit, Monk was a beautiful cat, man. He left a spot for me to be able to record on that. Even though they were in the studio, he held it up till I got back in town to put my 2 cents in on that historic recording, So that's how that came about.
And do you remember where that video was shot at?
That video was shot, as I recollect, in New Jersey, I believe, and it was looking back across to New York.
That was the early days of videos.
Yeah.
That was the early days, man.
Man. Yeah,
you
brother.
was back there doing your little Partridge Family thing. I saw you. You was like, I was like, oh, go, Rodney, go. Yeah.
That's right. Great, man. That's right,
that
brother.
Was great. We're going to take a quick break, and you're watching Soul One After Dark.
I've lost more friends to suicide since I've been out than I lost in combat. Call your congressional representatives and demand that they vote yes on the Medicinal Hemp Act.
We're American veterans,
and we approve this message.
What's happening? It's your boy Marcus Miller. You are watching Soul One TV.
Wait, cut for 1 second, Rodney. It's the funniest thing. I could see you in the green room when the commercials are on. When you were sitting there watching, and then when your guitar thing came on, I see you said, Now we are back with Rodney Mitchell, guitar player extraordinaire.
Thank you,
now,
brother.
Rodney.
Yes,
let
sir.
me ask you a quick question. If you could go back to your early years of playing guitar, is there something that you would do differently, or a couple of things you would do differently?
That's a tough one because I don't think there would be anything that nothing jumps out at me, which tells me I probably, took the best steps that were in front of me at the time and paid attention to the musicians that caught my interest at the time. I do have one. I got one. One. Well, you got me. You're getting deep on a brother right now. Okay. Man, okay. One of the things I wish would have been different is if I had gotten a hold of some of those Riverside recordings from Wes Montgomery, because what that would have done is shaped who I am a little bit more to where I'd like to be right now, music on the guitar. If I had gotten a hold of Wes earlier, Meet the Man would have been great.
Yeah. Give up the goods, Rodney. How did you meet Janet
The
Jackson?
Cotton Club here in Harlem. And the Passant brothers, Al and Eddie Passant, were over the musical direction of that. They had a big orchestra. And for a short period of time, I was the guitar. I held down the guitar chair in that big band. I was the guitarist in the band. And he called me up and says, "Oh, you got a gig." I said, "What's the gig?" He said, "Well, Janet Jackson is coming in to do a photo shoot with Annie Leibovitz, the very famous photographer. She was going to do the life story of Lena Horne. Lena Horne. As a matter of fact, you remember the very famous football situation with the gentleman, I can't get his name, but where her breast popped out, the wardrobe malfunction. This photo shoot I did with her and gig was about 2 or 3 months before that happened. So what happened was she came down to do the photo shoot, and they had us as the house band, and she was leaning against the piano in this snakeskin suit which fit her to the T. She looked wonderful in that thing. And she was so gracious and so kind and so professional and beautiful to us, man. And so soft-spoken. Annie Leibovitz was doing the photo shoot, and afterwards she requested to take individual photos with each of the musicians. But that was the whole deal with Janet. And that whole thing fell through because Miss Horne, Lena Horne, Miss Horne, after the breast situation popped out, the wardrobe malfunction, she went into an uproar about it. She felt some kind of way about that. And her name being associated, she's old school. And she still had the power to shut that whole thing down. Her people said, "No, your royalty. If you don't want your name on that, we're not going to do it."
Very interesting story.
But Janet was beautiful to be around, professional. You felt like you were with family up there with her, and no problem. And in the photo, I put my arm around her to take the photo. She didn't jump. It wasn't squeamish or nothing. She felt it was like she was at home.
Get off me, Negro! Get off me, Negro!
Who are you sharing your secondhand smoke with?
Hi, I'm Cliff Perkins, lead singer of Soul Generation, and you're watching Soul One TV.
Let me take you back to a conversation. Now, this was a long time ago, man.
Okay.
Now, I don't know who you was on the road with. I don't know who you was working with. I don't want to say any names just in case, whatever the story may be. I had never been on the road before at this point. I was just, just kind of coming up a little bit in the music. And I was asking you, so how is it, doing gigs and stuff like that? And you told me, number one thing, make sure you get your money because, sometimes you do gigs and you got to wait for your cash and wind up maybe got to go to court or something, and I was like, wow, okay.
I'm glad you mentioned that, brother, because the business of money, music at the time, it was in such transition in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I saw it coming. I said, you know what? I'm not going to have these producers dictate whether or not the lights stay on, whether I eat by their will. I'll get with a union job that paid salary, that had benefits, and I could afford to produce my own music. And that's exactly what I did. And I do not regret that one bit because it is crazy out here right now with this music. I mean, the stories are unbelievable what goes on in the industry.
That's why I didn't want to say no names or anything. At that time you was going through something with whoever. But
I was careful. I was careful not to mention none myself just now. I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna go straight to the street for a second because me and you we from the street, and we were from one of the roughest hoods. I don't understand how there are not a lot more instances of murder in the music business with these shady contracts and I got you and they flossing and no, you're not going to take advantage of some of these folks out here will kill you. I had to go there. That's as real as that's part of it. I don't
But
know if
on
that's
that
what I.
note,
Yeah.
yes, you got to unload the gun now. Unload the gun. But the musicians today, today's
Yes.
musicians, what
Yes.
advice would you give to an up and coming musician?
Study your craft. Learn the facility of whether it is vocals, whether it's piano or whatever instrument. Learn to facilitate the instrument musically. Study the theory, and but you have to also look back at what came before you to know where you are now.
How important is it to learn how to read music?
It's very important because in order to pick up on what you have to do task wise, the job, they're going to put your instructions in front of you, which is the sheet music. If you read music, then you can inherently write it. Now, what you write, that's a whole nother story, but it's not just the reading of the music, but it's very important because if you're going to work, they're going to put the music in front of you. And if you can peep it, if you can read it, you got the work.
As a young musician, was your family supportive of you musically?
Very, very, very much so. Matter of fact, I have a musical family. My brother Dallas, who you know very well, Dallas Kenyatta, that cat has more talent in his pinky than I have in my whole body. Dallas is the kind of cat that will say, I want to learn how to play piano. You come back 3 months later and he's playing jazz. He picks up the bass. You heard him on trumpet playing Maynard Ferguson and Louis Armstrong, all of that stuff. He is amazing. My sister Renee, and you guys performed. You performed with my sister. Yeah, you guys had
way back in the day.
You had a hot
group called Friends in Love.
Friends in Love. Wow, she could sing. My brother Tracy's, my mother and father, everybody, my uncles and extended family, aunts and cousins, they were very supportive. Very supportive.
The memories are starting to come back. Yeah, Dallas is a bad boy. Plus, that brother can box. He's an alley freak. He used to come out in the park. We used to play ball. And after we play ball, he started bouncing around. Come on, man, let me show you something. We'd be like, listen, guys, we out here to play ball, man. Listen, we're going to take another break. In fact, we're going to go to a video, and we'll be back in a few minutes. You're watching Soul One After Dark with Rodney Mitchell. Candidate for Love. Are you still in contact with anybody in the band?
Social media, mostly social media. Everybody has branched out in different directions and doing big things. So we're all doing our own thing, and that requires us to be in different directions. But yeah, we're somewhat in contact. Yeah.
Okay. I was on your Facebook page.
Okay.
And there's things you neglected to tell me about. I need you to tell me about this right here.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, you have been on my page. Mm-hmm.
All right, Rodney, start talking, man, because I did not know. I did not know.
All right, all right, all right, all
We
right.
we
Well,
came from the South Bronx, man. That
yeah,
wasn't something that, you know.
my dad had
Mhm.
one of those hot rods. He had an Oldsmobile 442 that he tricked out and took to the track.
Wow.
And when I got to be
Wow.
about 8 or 9 years old, he had me under the car. Fast forward,
Mm, mm,
I
mm,
got
mm,
a
mm.
chance to get behind the wheel of a stock car in 2012 at Talladega, Alabama. And I've been doing that ever since. I'm an amateur. I'm an amateur stock car driver. That's one of my needs. One of my
Yeah,
needs,
yeah.
you know. My fastest speed, I think, was at Talladega was 179.69 around the
Mm,
track. Almost about 2/10
wow.
off of 180 miles an hour.
That's cool.
Yep.
Listen. You definitely doing your thing, man. You
You've
definitely
definitely been
doing.
you've definitely been on my page.
Listen, I gotta do what I gotta do because as my son used to say, musicians ain't gonna tell me everything. Y'all ain't gonna tell me everything. Great. And also, you know, as we was talking about earlier, I had recorded an album and I was producing the album, and we hired you to come up there to Huntington. I know you don't remember it. I'm gonna send you a copy of that. You was the only musician on everything else with electronic. I did all the programming, the drums and the keyboards and stuff, and you was the only real musician on that record.
What
Yeah.
label was that released? What was that released
That was
on?
on a label called Esquire, which was distributed by Capitol Records. That was in basically 1991, 1990, 91.
I remember that, and boy, that's a hot track, man.
I'm gonna
That's a
send it to
hot
you,
track.
man. It's a shame the company didn't get behind the album, but you know, hey, things happen.
Yeah,
But,
you guys were doing your thing, man. Those vocals you
yeah,
guys laid down and that groove that you had going on. Woo!
that you on
Yes.
guitar. We did the production. That was a song that Victor Bailey and Poogie Bell wrote. All the ingredients was there, but the company just didn't get behind it.
Right,
But
right.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Do you still do sessions?
I still do sessions and stuff, you know, and it's got to interest me. My only criteria for that is that it has to be musical.
Now, if somebody want to get in touch with you,
I'm on Facebook, and or they can hit me up on Messenger. That's the best way to get up in contact with me with something like that, you know.
I see you got your guitar there. I don't know
Yes,
if
sir.
you want to, you know, do a little something. We're gonna go to commercial. And
Okay.
We'll be right back.
All right.
With Rodney Mitchell strumming that guitar on Soul One After Dark.
Bright futures begin with good school attendance. Missing just a few days of school a month can hurt a child's math and reading skills, or even their chance of graduating. Find out more at everystudentpresent.org/parents.
This is Reagan Whiteside, and you're watching Soul One TV.
On that candidate joint, you was wearing them sunglasses, man. You Now, where was that video? Where was that video shot?
It was in Manhattan somewhere. I'm sure it was in Manhattan somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you gonna do a little something for us?
Well, you know what? I thought it'd be. I don't know if you can hear this. You hear that?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Tell me if you know what this is.
That's a little Force MDs, huh?
Right.
Do you still have your first guitar?
No, I don't have that first guitar, which was a Stewart. That was my dad's guitar. I have several guitars. I play exclusively Ibanez guitars right now. I've got about 3 or 4 George Benson models.
Rodney, it's been a pleasure having you on here, man. And when you start coming out with that new music, the platform is here for you, man. Anything to promote what you're doing, you know, because you are one of those guys that, you know, you are the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Wow.
You and a few other people around that way. You know, I used to watch you guys, man. You guys was like the gods of the block, you know.
Man, thank you,
You
brother.
guys are the gods of the block.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Thank you
man,
so
love
much,
you too,
brother.
man. It's
Thank
cool.
you.
You and the whole family. I have so much history with you guys. It's just crazy because it's a rare thing that you get to do these kind of things, you know, and see folks that you came up with. Because most of us, well, not most, but quite a few of us are no longer here.
That's
you
true.
know,
Right.
for various reasons. And
Right.
it's just a pleasure to see you still up, still doing your thing. We gonna hook up somewhere along the line because I done latched back onto you. I'm like back in the day. I'm gonna ride your back now. Yeah, man. I'm telling you.
That's all good. Thank you.
This is Rodney Mitchell on Soul One After Dark.
Right.
Thank you for watching. See you later.
My son, I'm waiting for him to come home. It's always something. I'm at the school. He's supposed to be out 2:30. It's 3:27 now. Listen.
Oh yeah. How old is he?
He's 16.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Like Bernie Mac said, gonna be some furniture moving in here when he get back.